So hey guys, today we'll be going over things that don't make sense in Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, I don't know. So, we'll go with Snake Eyes first. So, what do you think is weird about Snake Eyes? So, first, we have this, Snake Eyes Lambert Dragon. But what's weird about this? You must special summon two level 1 fire monsters from your graveyard here. So if you have just one for whatever reason, this effect isn't resolving, okay? So, cool, sure, whatever. I don't know why, but that's how it works. And then we have uh Snake Eye Oak here. Snake Eye Oak. You can special summon a banished level 1 fire monster for whatever reason. This will only come up in probably Rescue Ace in case you banish it, I guess, like your hydrant off of Turbulence. So okay, I guess sure. That can come up, I guess. So now you can technically also play Gold Sark for your target, so you don't have to actually search your target with like Snake Eye Ash or like uh with original Sinful Spoils. You can just not do it that way. Cool, I guess. And then we have this interaction. Okay, we have Nibiru. We have Token Collector. So let's assume I do for the start of my turn, I normal summon Token Collector, and then I go through like a Snake Eyes combo. Okay? Nothing weird about that, purely. So now, it is the end of my turn. Why can't you Nibiru? Well, let's read the effect of Nibiru together. During the main phase, if your opponent normal or special summon 5 or more monsters this turn, okay, that definitely happened. Quick effect, you contribute as many face-up monsters on the field as possible, and if you do special summon this card from your hand, then special summon 1 Primal Being token to your opponent's field. Why exactly can you not activate Nibiru? Well, it's because of Token Collector. Because Token Collector has this lovely line of text here. Let's see. Okay. Here. Neither player can special summon tokens. Because the effect of Nibiru is mandatory to summon the token, you cannot actually summon Nibiru, despite it technically being able to tribute all of the face-up monsters on the field first, and then summoning the token. So if we were to do this another way, let's say we activate Nibiru as chain 1 and there's a token on the field for whatever reason, and I activate Token Collector chaining later than Nibiru. So now Token Collector will be on the field first, and then Nibiru will be activating later, right? With Token Collector on the field. This will just resolve perfectly normally, because of course it does, you know? Effects like this will try to resolve as much as possible, so we'll tribute as many face-up monsters on the field, including Token Collector, then summon the token. Because yes, this happens first, and then that happens. And in case you want to prove for that, if you've played Maxi and you've gotten Nibiru, if you actually Maxi Nibiru, you special summon twice, so the summoning doesn't happen at the same time even, right? So it will clear the field first and then summon the token, so Token Collector will no longer be on the field, allowing the token to be special summoned. So special summon 1, Nibiru, special summon 2, token, so you get 2 draws off of Maxi if you do it in chain to Nibiru. So, intriguing, weird, strange. And then we have this, Kashira Fenrir. So, card looks fine, right? If you control no monsters, you can special summon this card from your hand. You can only use each of the following effects of Kashira Fenrir once per turn. During your main phase, you can add 1 Kashira monster from your deck to your hand when this card declares an attack, or if your opponent activates a monster effect, except during the damage step, you can target 1 face-up card your opponent controls. Banish it face down. Cool. One important thing is missing from this card. That would just make it make complete sense and not have to be limited 1. So this could honestly use an errata because of this. Okay. Here, this effect. During your main phase, you can add 1 Kashira monster from your deck to your hand. Why exactly does it not say, except for Kashira Fenrir? If we search like a bajillion different cards, it'll say, except for itself, essentially. So if we go Snake Eye Ash, special summon one Snake Eye monster from your hand or deck, except for, well, Snake Eye Ash. And then we have Poplar. What do you think Poplar says? Well, it doesn't really matter because Poplar doesn't actually add itself or anything. But if we go to, for example, just let's see, ninjas. Let's go Hanzo. Who do you think Hanzo cannot add? Well, it is of course except Ninja Grandmaster Hanzo. What a lovely line of text right there. You can't add yourself. Weird, intriguing. And in fact, if we go to Mitsu here, it'll say except Mitsu the insect ninja right here. So like 90% of cards will just say except for itself somewhere, but they decided on the card that clearly mattered here. Yeah, Fenrir. Yeah, that's the one that's problematic. Nah, Fenrir. Yeah. Fenrir can add itself. Why not? Of course, like a relatively completely garbage card like Hanzo, arguably. When? Yeah. Hanzo. Yeah, no. Adding Hanzo off of Hanzo, now that's crazy. Come on. Despite Hanzo doing absolutely nothing in your hand. Cool. All that allows is for you to maybe normal summon Hanzo, but how did you even special summon Hanzo to begin with, you know? So, yeah. Okay. Very cool. So, yeah. Yugioh. Not jank in the slightest. And then we'll follow this up. Necrovalley. Okay. So, how do you think Necrovalley interacts with pendulum monsters? Like, this probably, like, never comes up for you, so 99% of you probably don't know. Necrovalley does literally nothing. Wow. Weird. Nothing. So, if we were to, for example, link summon with our pendulums, if we were to pop our pendulum scales, nothing happens with Necrovalley because they don't go into the graveyard clearly, right? So negate any card effect that would move a card in the graveyard to a different place. Okay, so yeah, that's how that works. Yeah, sure. They don't technically go into the graveyard then a different place, at least not by card effect, right? So that ruling, sure, okay, makes some sense, I guess. And then we have, like, for example, Macrocosmos. So if we play Yu-Gi-Oh, clearly, in what part of the animation exactly do we see our pendulum monsters exactly going into the graveyard exactly? So with Macrocosmos active on the field, pendulum monsters, instead of going to the extra deck, will get banished instead. Why? They technically don't go to the graveyard to begin with, right? Do they? I mean, with Necrovalley, it specifically says, of course, negate any card effect that would move a card in the graveyard to a different place, but it's not a card effect moving them to the extra deck. They just inherently go to the extra deck instead of the graveyard. So that's why they're not affected by Necrovalley, unless Necrovalley happens to be bugged on any given day, because apparently that's also a thing. So, just for example, Fissure, as of currently, bugged. XYZ monsters, all of their materials do not get banished. I've lost games due to this, unironically, but cool, I guess. And also, I believe pendulum scales, if those are destroyed, they do not go to the graveyard with Fissure, I think, right? Is that a ruling thing, or is that a bug? Hard to say, because I know the XYZ thing is 100% a bug. So, cool. I guess. Sure. Yu-Gi-Oh makes sense. Okay. And then just for example, we'll also throw this in, just as a ruling thing. This one can kind of make sense, but whatever. So let's say we have Branded Fusion, and then we have, instead of Solemn Judgment, we have Solemn Warning. So when a monster would be summoned, or when a spell trap card or monster effect is activated. Not the right one. So, Solemn Strike. When a monster would be special summoned or a monster effect is activated, pay 1,500 life points, negate the summon or activation, and if you do, destroy that card. So let's say we just directly want to summon Rindbrum and do nothing else, okay? So if we activate Branded Fusion, this is a spell, so obviously you cannot Solemn Strike this. So, cool, this resolves. and then we'll special summon Rinbrum. Can you Solemn Strike Rinbrum? No, of course not. It already got special summoned by Branded Fusion, so when Branded Fusion has resolved, Solemn Strike already is not possible to activate. So, there. Fun ruling for you guys there. And, while we're at it, let's throw this in. So, we have, Ghost Bell. And we have Ash Blossom Joyous Spring. So let's say we have a monster that can special summon another monster from either the graveyard or the deck when it is destroyed by battle. So you destroy by battle and you have Ash Blossom in hand, and you also have Ghost Bell in hand. Ghost Bell can be activated, but Ash Blossom cannot, because Ash Blossom negates effects, and negate effect cannot be done during the damage step or around that time, right? But Ghost Bell and Haunted Mansion can, because it negates activation instead. More fun Yu-Gi-Oh stuff, and then to just further go into this, just more negate activation versus negate effect. If you were to, for example, let's pretend, for example, you can actually Ghost Spell Kashtira Shangri-Ira. If you were to do so, Arise Heart cannot be summoned, because Kashtira Shangri-Ira's effect was not successfully activated. So even if the effect is negated, the effect counts as activated. But if the activation is negated, it is technically it didn't activate its effect, meaning Arise Heart can be special summoned. So Imperm as well, same thing. Ash Blossom, same thing. So that's a thing, I guess. Cool. Or not. Depends on perspective. And then if we grab, for example, let's say Banshee. So we have Necroworld Banshee. We have Zombie World. So then let's throw in, I suppose, Hope Harbinger. And let's throw in Tri Brigade Revolt. So we'll go through these one at a time. So if I activate Necroworld Banshee effect, you cannot activate Hope Harbinger effect to negate and attach my Zombie World, because this is a monster effect activating a spell. And now everything's a zombie. Very cool. So first thing. Next thing, if we have a Tri Brigade Revolt here, this effect, well, special summon a number of your Beast Warrior, and/or Winged Beast monsters that are banished and/or in your graveyard, but negate their effects. Then immediately after this effect resolves, Link summon one Tri Brigade Link monster using only those monsters. So this interacts really weird with both Banshee and Zombie World to an extent. So if we have Zombie World on field, Revolt is not activatable at all, because pretty much every single Tri Brigade monster here is not really worth making. So all you can do is, I guess you can technically make Tri Brigade Vibram. This is legal. This is what you can do with Revolt, I guess, because this summons from banished, and Zombie World does not affect banished monsters. You still have Beast Warrior, and/or Winged Beast monsters that are banished, right? So you can summon them, and then immediately Link summon a Tri Brigade Link monster. So we can summon Vibram. We cannot summon Brugal. We cannot summon Bucocephalus, because the monsters will become zombies. And then there is Fairjeet, which you also can't summon. And also, of course, Shrig cannot be summoned because it requires 2+ Beast Warrior, and/or Winged Beast monsters, so not summonable. So all you can do is summon Vibram, okay? And the interesting thing about this is that you still get to choose how many you kind of can summon, right? So it gets really weird, and I don't 100% remember how the interactions work, because I haven't seen Tri Brigade in a long time. But if I were to, for example, chain Banshee as chain 2 to Revolt, you can actually summon like 3 or 4 like Tri Brigade monsters, but Zombie World will be activated first. So this can either do one of two things. You may either no longer be able to special summon. There's also that quality because the special summon will happen in chain, right? So if you no longer have targets, I guess you're just not summoning anything, right? But yeah, you can summon like 4 Tri-Brigade monsters and then sit on them and do nothing because you don't have any legal targets anymore because you're supposed to be summoning a Link uh, monster using only those monsters, so you have to use all of the monsters you essentially summon, right? So, and now you're just sitting with a bunch of random Tri-Brigade monsters on your field, and that's how that interaction works. Yup. So, not jank at all, clearly. Yup. And does Flamberge target? I guess it's worth looking at this. If this card is no, this doesn't target. So if you suddenly lose the 2 targets you have, like assuming you only have 2, and now you only have 1 possible target, yeah, this doesn't work anymore. So like if you were to DD Crow and chain to Flamberge Dragon, that can stop Flamberge Dragon just randomly. But I mean, if you have a bunch of targets, that DD Crow, on the other hand, does nothing. So incredibly awkward. All right, I guess. Then we have, let's see. Yeah, just another weird card. Let's go with, let's see. I know I have something here. So let's go back to Ninja again. So for no reason at all, I guess we'll just throw this in here. Ninjas, like all of these cards, they only set from deck and special summon from deck, pretty much. Except for I guess Notebook and stuff. Some of your cards will special summon from graveyard. But question, how did you get said card into the graveyard? Yeah, well, lacking synergies a little bit there, but yeah, whatever. I guess we'll go to this now. If we have Cyframe Gear Gamma, alright? And nothing that strange, right? So we activate Gamma, of course, so when your opponent activates a monster effect while you control no monsters, quick effect, you can special summon both this card from your hand and 1 Cyframe driver from your hand, deck, and or graveyard. And if you do, negate the activation, and if you do that, destroy that monster during the end phase, banish the face-up monster special summoned by this effect. So, if we were to, for example, Cyframe Gear Gamma, and then we were to activate Book of Eclipse. So of course this specifically says banish those face-up monsters, so if these guys are all of a sudden face down, they will no longer get banished. But what if they're flip face down and then back face up? Do they still get banished? Like, do you guys know the answer to this one? Because I don't even remember. Like, honestly, I think they might not get banished, but I wouldn't be entirely surprised if they also got banished. So just, for example, with a similar type of thing, if we have Slifer. Let's say I go ahead. Okay, I will Monster Reborn, Slifer the Sky Dragon. Okay, pretty simple. It will, obviously, if I do nothing to it, it will be destroyed during the end phase, as it says in this effect. Once returned during the end phase, if this card was special summoned, send it to the graveyard, okay? So, if we do that, it'll be sent, okay? So, what if I were to Book of Moon this, okay, and then during the next turn, I flip summon this? What will happen to the Slifer now, during end phase on turn 3? It gets sent to the graveyard, I believe, from every simulator I've tested. It gets sent, because it still remembers itself as being special summoned somehow, despite technically being flip summoned at this point. So, how does that work? I don't know. Whatever. And then, same thing, if we were to then Book of Eclipse this, does this actually remember if it's special summoned? I'm pretty sure it will. Judging by how, if you flip summon it, it will get sent, it will be sent to the graveyard, right? But these guys are worded a bit differently at the same time, so banish the face-up monster special summoned by this effect. So does it still recognize Yama and Driver as the monsters special summoned by this effect after like a Book of Eclipse? I think maybe not, but this one only cares if it's special summoned at all. Is that why this would be different, if it is different, or am I losing my marbles? So small amount of rulings, yeah? Ruling moment. So, for that matter, now, if we have Mirror Jade, for example, I would very much like to know how Mirror Jade works here, right? So if we have Mirror Jade on the field, okay? And then we Book of Eclipse this Mirror Jade. Does it still remember the fact that it was fusion summoned? So if it gets removed now after Book of Eclipse, will it remember being fusion summoned? Or if I just put it face down and then remove it, does it still remember the fact that it is fusion summoned? I honestly do not remember the answer to this at all. So we'll move on from that. I do know the ninja kind of things and how they work though. So if we, for example, have Yugioh and Dancing Leaves. So Dancing Leaves says, activate this card by targeting one ninja monster or one face down defense position monster on the field, tribute it, and if you special summon one ninja monster from your deck, when this card leaves the field, send that monster to the graveyard. You can target one ninjutsu or continuous spell trap in your spell and trap zone, return it to the hand. So when this card leaves the field, send that monster to the graveyard. It does not recognize that monster if it gets flipped face down. So, So if we were to, for example, special summon Yugioh, and our opponent just normal summon something like, I don't know, what's a normal summon that like you would want to do? Or even a special summon, I guess? Special summon Kashtira Unicorn, sure. And then we summon Yugioh the Gravity Ninja, flipping itself face down, as well as, so Yugioh and Unicorn, right? So then next turn we can use Ninjutsu Art of Dancing Leaves to return this to our hand, and then we can set it again. So Yugioh here is no longer bound to like the Dancing Leaves essentially, so it does not get sent anymore. It does not recognize as that monster essentially, as far as this effect is concerned. So that's how that kind of works, right? And this doesn't make that much sense to me because I don't really understand that ruling, but I do know how the card mechanic works. And here, in this case, we'll also still have the set Yugioh, and we also have our opponent's set monster that we can use to use Ninjutsu Art of Dancing Leaves again on the next turn. So, very cool, I guess. Sure. And then, I guess to wrap things up, let's go over this kind of cool interaction instead. So, we have World Sea Dragon the Atlantis, and we have Mirror Jade the Iceblade Dragon in this situation. So it doesn't really matter that much what Mirror Jade is doing, but we're going to have World Sea Dragon the Atlantis effect activated, and this will banish as many monsters on the field as possible, then special summon as many monsters as possible that were banished by this effect to their owner's field, face up or in face down defense position. So let's pretend our opponent, well, in this case, that we're going to special summon this back face up. So it doesn't matter how we do this exactly, but whatever. Because of how the Atlantis works with against Mirror Jade, so Mirror Jade specifically says this: if this fusion summon card and its owner's control leaves the field because of an opponent's card, you can destroy all monsters your opponent controls during the end phase of this turn. That effect will not activate with the Atlantis because this all happens in one chain where it banishes and then summons back your opponent's Mirror Jade. So because of that, you essentially can strip your opponent's Mirror Jade of its fusion summoned status, and then it is no longer fusion summoned, so it's perfectly safe to out. And it will not destroy your whole board. And it also will not trigger when you do this because it all happens in one chain. So it just has amnesia essentially. Was I fusion summoned? No, I don't think so. Hey, did I leave the field? No, I don't remember that, you know? Mirror Jade just has amnesia essentially. Cool. And of course with the Atlantis has the other effect, of course, during the battle phase. You can destroy cards on the field up to the number of killing monsters on the field. So it is perfectly safe to resummon Mirror Jade and then destroy it with the Atlantis' other effect, and it will not trigger the other effect over here. And you can also play around this effect by putting it face down, actually. So this is actually soft once per turn, twice per turn or something. It's really dumb. In fact, if you were to negate your own Mirror Jade effect for some reason, like, you can activate this again on the next turn, the following turn. Why? I don't know. It just rulings. Sure. What is the exact card text on this even? Uh-huh. Let's see. Also, this card cannot use this effect next turn. Wait, that's the effect. This is part of the effect, that's what. That's so dumb. So, okay, if you negate the effect with, I don't know, just whatever. Yeah, just casually negate this effect. Yeah, you can do it again next turn, and you can just use this to essentially extra foolish burial goods. Whatever. Random. Ruling moment Yu-Gi-Oh! Moments. Very funny, very cool. And that's all I got for you guys today. If you have any more dumb rulings or interactions you guys want to share in the comments below, feel free to do so. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.